has prepared the payroll of employees, and
this meeting is being recorded.
You want to go through this payroll and see those employees who have been hired in this current month. You also want to see those employees who retired, but they are still in the payroll of the organization for this month. I think you've heard of ghost workers. I think you've heard of ghost workers in your workplaces. I think you heard of this issue of ghost workers. So it is just yesterday when if you can recall, the new governor-elect of Kisii County, the governor of Kisii County, identified that they only have 82 vehicles, but 256 drivers. They have 82 vehicles and against 256 drivers. So it is almost like every driver has got, every 3 drivers have been assigned to one vehicle. So the issue of ghost workers is bringing problems to many organizations, even government institutions. So in that case, let's say you want to go through this and see those who are there, those who are missing, or those who have been included there without the knowledge of the company. So in this list here, we have those employees who were there in the month of April, and some of them retired. So those who retired, when we go to the month of May, we will not find them in this payroll. We will not find them in this payroll. And also in the month of May, there were new employees who were hired. There were new employees who were hired into the organization. There are new employees who were hired into the organization, but they were not there in the month of April. So these ones here, or this VLOOKUP function, can help the HR or the MD to identify if they know those employees in these payrolls. Without going through the entire payroll, you can use VLOOKUP to identify the new and even the missing employees in the payroll. So that is what we want to cover about VLOOKUP function. That is what we want to about VLOOKUP function. So ladies and gentlemen, this is what we are going to do. We want to compare these two lists. We want to compare these two lists and see, we want to compare these two lists and see how, we want to compare these two lists and see how we are going to identify these new employees. So in your first worksheet, that is the April, let's all of us be there. Let's all of us be there in the April worksheet. And then you indicate here the name of the file that you want to compare this with. So we want to compare the April worksheet and the May worksheet. So let's all indicate May there. Let's say May payroll. Let's indicate May payroll. So having indicated May payroll, you want to know those employees who are in the May payroll but are not here in the April payroll. We want to see those who are there in the May payroll and they are not there in the April payroll. So what we are going to do, what we are going to do is this. Remember, I have told you that the function we are going to use is called VLOOKUP. This is the function we are going to apply here. It is called VLOOKUP. So how many of us have heard of this function VLOOKUP? How many of us have reached or have heard of this function called VLOOKUP? How many of us have ever used this function called VLOOKUP? Anybody? Anybody who has used this VLOOKUP function at their workplace? Anybody who has ever used this VLOOKUP function at their workplace? Okay, so this is what we are going to do. Let's see how we are going to apply VLOOKUP to compare these two lists. So VLOOKUP is only applied when identifying, or we first of all identify the unique item or key identifier of the lists that you want to compare. So let's see what is going to happen. For this one here in column A, we have ID numbers. The next one, we have name, phone number, NSSF number, and days worked, so on, so forth, until we have net pay here. So if we check this list, which item is going to be a unique identifier? Which item are we going to use as a unique identifier? Which item are we going to use as a unique identifier? Which item are we going to use as a unique identifier? Yes, Jimmy is telling us ID. Yes, Kevin also is telling us that we are going to use ID as a unique identifier. Yes, we are going to use ID as the identifier. It means, why are we going to pick ID as a unique identifier? If you go to names column here, you will see that some people are sharing names. Some people are sharing names, but the ID number is unique to each and every individual, and therefore it is the unique identifier we are going to use. So let's start by introducing our $sign, I mean the equal sign. So you say equal to VLOOKUP. You say equal to VLOOKUP. So the first thing that is required there is the lookup value. Lookup value is that unique identifier. So what is this unique identifier? The unique identifier, as we have been told by some of us, is the ID number. So ID number is the unique identifier. Then you say comma. The next thing is the table array. So table array is the other list that you want to compare with this current list. It is the other list that we want to compare with this current list. And therefore, we now move to the May payroll. We move to the May payroll. We move the May payroll and highlight the entire. We move to the May payroll and highlight all this information here. We highlight the entire information that is in this table. We highlight the entire information that is in this table. So we are comparing this May list and the April list. So that table array should be fully $referenced. That is, we are going to lock it. Remember, it is our database. So we are not going to use another database, and therefore we must lock that database. How do we lock it? It is fn f4. It is fn f4 to introduce the dollar signs, or you just click F4, the topmost row of your desktop, you have F1 up to F12. So click that F4 to introduce the dollar signs into your entire table array. Are we together up to that point? 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 Or I have been left alone? Are we moving together? Are we moving together? Are we moving together? Okay. So the next item that is required of us, is column index number. So in this table array, if the names in April list are also appearing in May list, then what should we get as our return? What should it give us back? Should it give us the ID number, or the name, or the phone number? Should it give us the name, the ID, or the phone number? So in this case, if whatever we have in April payroll is matching what we have in the May payroll, then it should return to us the names of these individuals. And therefore, the column index number, remember we highlighted the whole of this table, and the first part of the table is column A, column B, column C, up to column K. So if the names are matching, what do we need? We need the names to be provided in that worksheet. And therefore, what is the column number or column index number of name? What is the column index number of the names? What is the column index number of names? What is the column index number of names? The column index number, remember column A is index number 1, column B index number 2, phone number 3, NSSF number 4, up to the last one here. So since we are interested in the name, and our table array covers from column A to column K, column A becomes the first column index number, and then column B becomes the second index number, which we need in our data. So we now move to inserting the formula, and then we say we need column index number 2 of that information. We need column index number 2, comma, and as accountants, we don't need anything close to that. We only need the actual ID number to match. If they don't match, then we should get an error. It should give us the exact number. And the moment you see that provided there, just type 0 or pick false. If you type 0, then you shall have taken false, which means exact number. You shall have taken false, which means exact number. Then you close your bracket. Then you close your bracket. Then you close your bracket. So if we check this, we are being told that the first name here, or the first ID here, is appearing in both lists. So let's autofill these ones here and see. Let's autofill these and see how we are going to do it. So if you check our list, if you check our list here, you will see that these names that have been inserted in our formula here, or what the formula returns to us, is confirming that they are appearing in the two lists. So for example, if we check here in the April payroll, we have the first name here with this ID. If I move to May payroll, I'll be able to see the same name appearing there. And that's why our formula is giving us back the name of the ID owner. Are we together, or some people have been left behind? Are we together, or some people have been left behind? Remember, you are joining or you are enjoying this free class from RCM Online College. You are getting this free class from RCM Online College. You are getting this free class from RCM Online College. So for you to join our paid class, whereby we teach them advanced Excel and also issue certificates at the end of the course, simply contact us through 0719 525,000, 0719 525,000. In some places, you'll find that this advanced Excel is offered at 6,000 or even up to 8,000. But RCM, we've now come to rescue you from that high cost of doing the course at only 3,500. At only 3,500. What you need to do is to simply pay 3,500 to our pay bill number 402956.9, and account number is your name. The account number is your name. We normally teach this course for 1 week, and then you get issued with a certificate. So kindly hurry up, join us or call us through 0719 525,000. Commit yourself today by paying 3,500 to join this discounted course at 3,500. We are looking forward to meeting you to our paid group, whereby you will be given this course at 3,500. For more information, contact this number, and then you will be guided further on what to do. So let's proceed and see how we do this. Back to our question. So if you check this list, we've been able to identify those who are appearing in the two lists. But if you move downwards, you will find that these people here, where we have not applicable, we have not been given the names, which means they are not appearing in the May payroll. So these people are the ones who retired, and therefore within that short time, you'll be able to identify whether these people actually retired or they are not there, and why are they not in the other list. So if you find that this person here is in the May payroll, but you are aware they retired, then that's where you now identify the fraud. That's where now you identify the ghost workers. This is somebody who retired, but they have been included in the May payroll. So that's a strategy of just going through your payroll and knowing those who have been illegally added into the organization's payroll. So we've been able to identify those who are not there in the May payroll. We've been able to identify those who are not there in the May payroll. If we check now to May payroll, we want to see those who are in the May payroll, but they are not appearing in the April payroll. There are those people who are in the May payroll, but we can't find them in the April payroll. This is now the new employees who have been hired. These are the employees that were hired in the month of May, and we'll also identify and know those who have been included in the payroll, but you did not hire them as an organization. You can also be able to identify those who have been included in the payroll, but they were not hired by the organization. So let's move on and see how we are going to do this. Let's move forward and see. You activate yourself, then you say VLOOKUP. Pick your lookup value. Remember, lookup value is the key identifier. It is not shared by anybody. It is a unique identity key. So in this worksheet, the ID number happens to be the identity worksheet and or the identity, the key identifier or the unique identity item. So we pick that it is the lookup value, comma, our table array is now the other list. So we want to compare May and April worksheet and see those who are in the month of May, but not in the month of April. So is there someone who can tell us the table array? Which list are we going to use as our table array? Which list are we going to use as our table array? Which list are we going to use as our table array? If we have been moving together, which list? We are in the month of May, and we want to see those who are there in May, but not in April. So which one is going to be our table array? Which one is going to be our table array? Which one is going to be our table array? Somebody, which one is going to be our table array? You are letting me down. Which one is going to be our table array? So the table array here, remember we are comparing the May, payroll and the April payroll to see what is in the month of May and not there in the month of April. So our table array is the April list. Our table array is the April list. And then we highlight the entire table up to net pay. Highlight the entire table up to net pay. And since it is our array, we should fully $reference it. We should fully $reference it. So you say F4 or FN F4 to fully $reference our table array. Then in this table array, if the two lists are matching, what do we expect to be given as the return value? We want to get the names as the return value. And within this range of A to K, what is the column index number of the names? ID number in column A is index number 1. Name in column B is index number 2. We need the names to be returned, and therefore we write 2 to be the column index number. We need an exact match, so we are supposed to write false. or just write 0, insert 0 there to pick exact match, then you close your bracket. Pick exact match, then you close your bracket. If you autofill, that is at the bottom right corner of your cursor, double click and you'll be able to see the names of these people autofilled. So if we check here, the V's is found in both the lists. That is, in the April payroll, they were there, and in the May payroll, he was also appearing there. So this employee has been there for the 2 months. If we move downwards, we'll find that this employee here, these 2 employees, are not in the month of April, and therefore these are the new employees that have been hired by the organization. These are the new employees that have been hired by the organization. So we can again, let's say this one here is April. This is April payroll. So we can now arrange this, just highlight the entire data, then say sort and filter, and then you say you want to custom what you want to sort. So we come here, we want to sort the April payroll. We want to sort the April payroll from A to Z. We want to sort the April payroll from A to Z. We want to sort the April payroll from A to Z. And you will be able to see that it is these last employees here, this last group of employees that were hired by the organization. It is this last group of employees that were hired by the organization. So it is this here, the 10 of them are the new employees that were hired by this organization. And then we move to April payroll, do the same, highlight all of it, highlight all of it, go to sort and filter, custom sort. You want to deal with the May payroll and say, take it Z to A. Let's make it Z to A. And when you activate it that way, you'll be able to see that it is only these 3 employees that retired. So by doing this, you will be able to identify those ghost workers in the payroll of the organization. You'll be able to identify those ghost workers in the payroll of the organization. You'll be able to identify those ghost workers in the payroll of the organization. So with that, you can now make your decisions and identify or even ask the person responsible for the preparation of the payroll about these new people in the list that are more than the known number by the organization. That is how we use VLOOKUP. Remember, our pay bill number is 402956.9. Account number, your name. Our fee is very low, 3,500. You get issued with a certificate and we deliver it up to where you are. If you are not within Nairobi, we will send it to you after you complete your course. So for any information, please contact this number to join us so that we'll tell you how to do bank reconciliations. One way or one step of doing bank reconciliation statement. And this is what we are going to do once you join us. This is what we are going to do once you join us. This is what we are going to do once you join us. This is where you are given bank reconciliation statement at the beginning of the month. Then you have your bank statement delivered to you by the bank. You have your bank statement. You have your bank statements. Let's say that is it. Then you will also have cash book that is maintained by the organization. You also have cash book that is maintained by the organization. You also have cash book that is maintained by the organization accountant. And all this information, even if you have up to 10,000 transactions, even 20,000 transactions in your cash book, and also in the bank book, in the bank statement, you have all these transactions. And also in the bank statement, you have all these transactions. You will be able to come up with bank reconciliation statement within 30 minutes of Safaricom, of EABL, of any other big organization without taking a lot of time. So thank you for your time. We are looking forward to meeting you. Now, who are these ghost workers? The ones appearing on both months or the not applicable ones? What is happening? This is what is happening. If you check here, if you check here, you will find that there are these new employees. So from there, you will identify that the list of those who were hired in the month of May, let's say you have 10,000 employees. So in the list of those who were hired in the month of May, just come here and check, okay, this person here is appearing in our list of the new employees who have been hired. This person is appearing. There is no problem with him or her. This person is appearing in our list. If we come here, these ones here are appearing in the list, but these last 4 are not there in the list of those who have been hired. That's when now you start doing your investigation and identify those who are not there, or why have they been included in the payroll. This one here will help you to identify those who have retired. Remember, if you're going to pay some lump sum amount to those people who have been retired, or those who have retired, and then you find that they have made payments to 50 people. Instead, in your list, you only have 3 who have retired. So you can be able to identify frauds that are happening in the payroll as early as possible. Any other question? Any other question? Any question? Any other question concerning our discussion? Any question concerning discussion? Any other question concerning our discussion for this 1 hour? Financial modeling course, yes, that is also done here. That is also done here. For you to move financial modeling course, then you must be perfect in Excel. You must be perfect in Excel, because financial modeling is 90% Excel. So if you're not good in Excel, then you will have problems in understanding that course. And therefore, join us to advance in Excel at RCM Online College. Our fee is 3,500. The payroll number is displayed there. Our account number, the account number is your name. Account number is your name. For more information, please contact us via 0719 525,000, 0719 525,000. Thank you for your time, and we are looking forward to meeting you in our advanced Excel class. It was nice to host you during this lunch hour free advanced Excel class. Thank you for that and enjoy